How's it going, everyone? Want to give you guys some updates on Gears of War Reloaded, its PlayStation release, rumblings about a physical release in fact happening. However, it will be a limited release, not a limited run games release, but a limited release in the sense that there's not going to be a lot of copies made. We'll do a little bit of speculation and an unfortunate reality you might have to accept already. We'll talk about that, another Gears update we'll get to in a little bit, and I do want to highlight what I think is legitimately one of the greatest video game trailers of all time. This is not hyperbole. The trailer that Bandai Namco recently dropped for Elden Ring Nightreign, for a lot of reasons, I think is absolutely tremendous. And once again, they are doing things that other publishers cannot comprehend to do because they don't have their finger on the pulse on who their target audience is. They're making games, don't know who they're catered to, and you end up with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, for example, and that game's debut trailer, or Concord, or games like that. Elden Ring Nightreign, how they are promoting this game in the final stretch as the game is out today, they're doing a pretty damn good job, and they dropped a great trailer, and the numbers on it are blowing up. We'll talk that at the end of this video, but look, trust me, I got a kick out of seeing it the other day, so we'll get to that at the end. Alright, right off the bat, Gears of War Reloaded, a physical release for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X is looking to be happening. Pre-orders will be opening up on June the 9th, if rumors are to be believed. That is coming from PPE.pl reader and regular contributor Graxdari, and he has revealed the details. Again, June 8th, the game will be showcased at the Xbox Game Showcase, and then pre-orders will go live the following day. Much like the recent Indiana Jones release, the physical print run will be very limited, and Microsoft has no plans to produce additional physical copies after launch, so it is worth acting fast, depending on how much you value a physical release like this. Remember, with Indiana Jones, all the content was not available on disc. Doom the Dark Ages was literally kind of like a download trigger for the game onto your PlayStation 5. The value of these physical releases is waning, and it remains to be seen on whether or not Gears of War is going to end up to being in this category of the game not being on the disc, or the entire game not being on the disc. I would have to imagine that is the case. Microsoft seems to be fairly checked out of their physical games distribution. They're about Game Pass, they're about digital game sales, and that is the avenue that they are going forward in, and it is a little bit of a bummer to me. Obviously, it's a bummer to everyone, and I don't think the lack of the game being on disc is the reason Doom the Dark Ages has done underwhelming numbers. I really don't believe that to be the case at all. I do unfortunately think it's a minority of people, still a significant amount of people, in the sense that, hey, a minority of however many game buyers of a Gears of War Reloaded physical edition there are, it's still a significant amount of people, and we'll be talking about it online, and it's very unfortunate. And I think, you know, going ahead and having all that content on disc, it does a lot to build goodwill with that portion of the audience. I think it's very effective when I look at a game like Rune Factory, and Rune Factory is coming out on the Nintendo Switch too, and that game is going the route of having all the content on the cart, where there is this era of game key cards. It is very advantageous for a Marvelous to build goodwill with their audience, and that is going to be very effective and very good for them. In the case of Microsoft and Xbox, as far as getting that goodwill from the portion of people that want those physical games to have all the content on the disc, I just don't think they care. I just think that's the reality of the situation as far as that's concerned. I think Microsoft's outlook on how they are going to be releasing their games very, very much different than a Marvelous with Rune Factory, but I'm sure you guys can figure that one out. Still, I'm incredibly excited for Gears of War Reloaded. I absolutely will be playing it, and as far as Xbox games coming to PlayStation, while Forza Horizon 5 was a big deal, and Forza has been one of those emblematic Microsoft franchises, Gears is one of those games that's like the heart and soul. I mean, really, Halo is the heart and soul, but Gears is right there. 1A, 1B to me with Gears and Halo, and you're talking about a character like Marcus, again, being so emblematic with Microsoft and Xbox as a brand, that coming to PlayStation, it's a wild moment. I'm sure this is how people felt back in the day when, like, Sonic was showing up on Nintendo platforms and whatnot. It's a little bit wild and surreal to see, but still incredibly excited, and the price point's gonna be pretty good, and you're gonna have multiplayer there as well. There's a lot of reason to be excited, even if the physical release isn't going to be something to get completely ecstatic about. At least, you know, that's how I perceive it. If all the content is on the disc, that's great, and from releasing the game at a physical game standpoint, like having boxes of Gears of War in stores, I think for PlayStation, is so effective, because if a common person goes into a store, a Best Buy, a Walmart, and they see Gears of War is on PlayStation, that physical copy being promoted, and they might be somebody that's a lapsed gamer, they played games growing up 20 years ago, and what was big 20 years ago? Gears of War was huge, and to see Gears of War on PlayStation, I do think that'll make people be like, whoa, Gears of War is now on PlayStation? That's kind of insane. I really do think it would have that kind of effect, but it's just the reality that Microsoft doesn't see a lot of value in that. I mean, it would have that effect in engaging people with PlayStation and getting them to buy PlayStation consoles. I get that they'd make money on the Gears of War sales, but ultimately, they would still prefer you to buy the expensive Xbox consoles if they had their way. But nonetheless, there you go with that. Also, with Gears of War, there was a Steam DB listing for a Gears of War Reloaded beta. A beta testing, maybe tied to pre-orders of the game. Think that makes a lot of sense. Cross-platform play, testing that out as well. Xbox, PC, PlayStation. I think a lot of people would gravitate towards that. And if you're gonna do something where Xbox Game Showcase happens, pre-orders open up the next day, and maybe the beta goes live a couple weeks after that, think that makes a ton of sense. And who knows, maybe you could even do an open beta. Don't tie it to pre-orders. How about pre-orders go live, open beta available for everyone, maybe right out the gate? I think that would be so smart. Do the Xbox Game Showcase, have a beta period right after the game showcase, and have pre-orders open as well. If people enjoy the beta, they'll end up pre-ordering the game. I mean, tying a beta to the pre-orders, I just think that is gonna be whatever. I think using an open beta to get PlayStation guys that have never played Gears to try Gears for the first time, even if it's a dated Gears 1 multiplayer experience, Gears 1 multiplayer is still gonna be worthwhile for a lot of people to check out. I think that could be a very, very advantageous situation for Microsoft to put themselves in, so let's hope that does happen. I just say, you know, tying it to the pre-orders, because that's what we see all the time with so many publishers tying, you know, betas, demos, things of that nature to pre-orders, so we'll see how that is handled. Lastly, mentioned this at the top, Elden Ring Nightreign is officially out today. I get that there's been some mixed reception to the game. 79 on Metacritic, kind of jarring to see a From Software game sub 80 on Metacritic. At the end of the day, people are gonna play it and they'll find their own decisions, and I'm sure it's gonna get updated and whatnot. DLC's already been confirmed. However, Bandai Namco may have dropped one of the greatest video games trailers of all time promoting Elden Ring Nightreign, as they dropped Elden Ring Nightreign Bring Me to Life trailer. And Bring Me to Life, obviously, for a lot of you guys is gonna mean something. Yes, they used the Evanescence Bring Me to Life song, and this trailer is absolutely awesome. You guys, this is an instance of Bandai Namco knowing who their target audience is. Whoever decided to go with this trailer, just a gigantic round of applause. I crap on game trailers all the time. The Prince of Persia Lost Crown trailer, Concord's Burger trailer, Fair Games trailer. There are so many just absolutely putrid garbage trailers that I just think and scratch my head being like, bro, like, who greenlit this? Who sat down and was like, yeah, we're cooking, bro. This is what's gonna get people excited to Concord. Burgers. This is what's gonna get excited for Fair Game. Take down the rich or eat the rich or whatever. And this is what's gonna get people excited for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. All garbage, putrid trailers, and in the case of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, ended up being a good game. They shot themselves in the foot right out the gate. Go pull up that trailer. Go read the comment section on people clowning that trailer. This is an instance of, first of all, most people know Bring Me to Life. I get there are a younger audience, which honestly, Bring Me to Life is probably a little bit prior to their time. This song really resonates with me, but who is into a lot of these From Software games? There are people in my age demographic, 25 to 40, 25 to 49, around that range. That's a significant portion of your audience, and guess what? They see a trailer like this, they're immediately gonna be like, wow, this is super cool, in the sense that they're bringing something back, and it goes in line with Elden Ring, Bring Me to Life. Like, that works. The trailer works, and if you took Bring Me to Life and you put it in a Concord trailer, it'd be dumb. It wouldn't work. If you took Bring Me to Life and put it in Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, okay, yeah, it would be dumb. In the case of Elden Ring, it absolutely worked. It absolutely goes there. I would argue, you know, some of the classics from that era would go with Elden Ring. I think Headstrong would go with an Elden Ring. I think Last Resort would go with Elden Ring. And Nightreign isn't a major single-player new release. It is this kind of spin-off release of Elden Ring, still set in the same universe, but you can have a little bit of fun with it. And guess what? This trailer is one of the top trending videos in all of YouTube right now. I mean, Elden Ring trailers are gonna do fairly well, becoming the number 5 trending as I'm recording this video. That's insane. This is how you promote a video game at the home stretch. Like, this is how it's done. And again, I see games debuting with garbage CG trailers that tell us nothing. I see so many bad instances of awful trailers. I see good instances as well when I look at a game like Clair Obscur as well, and Elden Ring Nightreign now, as far as a home stretch promotion of the game, the final promotion. Man, I care about game promotion because while Elden Ring Nightreign is going to do well regardless, it's something we can, at least publishers can all learn from. What really clicks, what really resonates. First of all, you gotta know what your, who your audience is, and in the case of Elden Ring Nightreign, there's gonna be a game that really does attract that 25 to 49 demographic, and obviously there will be people younger, people older playing the game, but a core audience of that is gonna be 25 to 49. They're gonna know Bring Me to Life. They're gonna remember how big of a track this was, and it works with Elden Ring. Chef's kiss, beautiful. Cannot, like, commend this enough as far as how well this trailer was executed. And then you go into the comments section. It's all people talking up this trailer. Someone on the marketing team 100% used to make AMVs and use their position and budget to make the most self-fulfilling and based choices. So the emo girl I used to know back in 2005 when we were 13 that always made these DBZ videos with Linkin Park in the background seems to work at Bandai Namco now. I read the title and there's no shot they used Evanescence for a trailer, lo behold, and they did, and it's peak. Like, it's all people being ecstatic about this trailer, getting people excited about the game. That is what game promotion is at the end of the day, and that's what they did with Nightreign. Again, it's simple stuff that you would think, obviously, somebody had to sit down, somebody would have to come up with the idea to bring Me to Life into this, somebody had to reach out to Evanescence to get the green light and figure out a deal to get the song for the trailer, but man, chef's kiss, excellent. This is how it's done, and, you know, for all the times that I crap on the garbage Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown trailers, the garbage Concord trailers, the garbage Fair Game trailers, you can go on and on. We get trailers like this that, obviously, this is right before the game comes out, so you can showcase all of the gameplay and whatnot, but, yeah, I digress. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal stuff. Great work from Software, Bandai Namco, everybody involved in this trailer. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of Gears of War Reloaded updates with the physical release beta coming up as well. Elden Ring, Nightreign, what a tremendous trailer that was. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.